Hey y'all, Kentucky Farmer here, and today we are back on the Westbridge Hills map in my test game for my 17th video about Courseplay. In this video I'm going to show you how to cut, rake, collect, and transport grass to a silo or bunker so that we can produce silage. We'll use Courseplay to completely automate the whole process for us. Everything in this video has been covered individually in previous videos. So in this video things will be moving at a little bit quicker pace as I'll try and get all the equipment working in the field at the same time. If you're new to Courseplay and you missed the first 16 videos, you might want to go back and start from the beginning. There's a link in the description to my Courseplay tutorial playlist. So the first thing we're going to want to do is hop into our mower. And we'll get it started here. And we'll bring up Courseplay. Now, I'm going to use the same edge path for this field that we recorded in video 13. And in the last 3 videos you saw me using a working width of 12.5 meters, and it did create a bit of an issue right here where this field bumps out and then in. Some of the equipment was colliding with that signboard and the lamppost down there. So I've come up with a bit of a solution, and I'll show you how that works when we get to the rake. But for this series of videos, instead of starting down there at the far corner, because the other problem is with the loading wagon, once it was full, it would have to drive all the way down to this corner and then back to our farm, which is actually back all the way down here at the other end of the field. So if we start here at this corner, that trip will be a little bit shorter. So to start here at the bump out between 19 and 20, all we need to do, well, for starters, let's go in here and we'll select our edge path, and you can see what I'm talking about right there. So the edge is right in front of us, and we're going to set our starting corner this time to, instead of the northwest, we're going to set the northeast corner. But the way that works with Courseplay is this is the northeast corner, this is the northwest corner, so this will be northeast. This is our far eastern edge, but this is our most northern edge, so that's why it picks this corner. So northeast, and we're going to head west this time, and we need to unfold this mower so that we can get the width of it. Which calculates at 9.8. I think the store has it as 9.9. I'm actually just going to set it to 9.5. I'd rather have a little bit of overlap than to miss stuff, and with a mower it really doesn't hurt if you overlap over something you already mowed. So 9.5 northeast, heading west. We don't have to return to the first waypoint. We're not going to make a headland, so then we can generate our course. So now this time you can see our start point is in front of us here, and in fact we can come over here to the course preview mode, and you'll see it'll bring up this window. This will show you the path that the mower will take as it goes down. So there will be a little bit of a, it looks like there's a little bit of a jog here where it transfers from one to another. It'll be right there. But with the mower, that should be fine. It'll be far enough over. And I'll show you how we get our width set up correctly so that we don't have the same problem we had last time when we get to the rake and the loading wagon. So we can close this, and we're going to tell it to, we'll fold it up, and then we're going to say first waypoint, make sure we're in fieldwork mode, and then tell it to drive course. And then we're going to hop out here, and we'll get into our rake. We'll start it up. Now for this course, we need to come in and we need to select our edge path again. And we need to make sure we're in fieldwork mode. And here you can see our our edge path is loaded on the screen in front of us. And for this one, last time when we did this, we were at 12.5 meters. And this time, well here, if I say northeast heading west, and we don't need to worry about that. We'll generate this, and then we can use this preview function. And you can see how this time it would go down and back just fine. So we wouldn't have the collision we were having over here, but then when we get down to this side of the field, it goes down and back, and it's actually going to hit these rocks over here. So instead of having the problem here, now we've got the problem down here. And then we've got this really close path here where it's going to rake it and then re-rake it again. So in order to fix that, one of the things you can do is just kind of alter the working width of the tool. And with the rake, we've got a little bit of leeway. It's wide enough, and then the windrow is narrow enough that we can have a certain amount of overlap between the rows, and we don't have to worry about moving the windrow too much. So what we'll do is we'll clear this course, we'll come in here and we'll select Southwest Grass Field again, and then we'll generate it again. This time we're going to generate it down at 11 meters. Still starting northeast, still heading west, and we don't need to worry about these for the rake. So then we're going to generate that course. Now, if you look at this one, you can see we go down and we come back, and that all looks real nice and smooth. And here we go down and we come back and down. And so nowhere in here do we have one of those long turns where we cut from one part of this bump out to the other. So this looks like this should actually be a really smooth course. We shouldn't have any collision issues, and everything should be good with this. Now, at 11 meters, we're going to be going slightly wider than the mower. So before we start this guy, I'm actually going to hop out and we'll watch the mower do at least one path. So you can see here he's got he's in a long turn maneuver like we had in the previous video. So the mower will do this, which is fine because the mower won't hit anything. But the rest of the vehicles, when we run them, we won't have this problem anymore. And I can turn up his turn speed here so that we get him down there and back faster. I'm going to hop out here. While he's getting a head start, the one last thing we need to do is record an unload course for our loading wagon. So because he's going to basically run the same course that the rake is running, and the rake is going to start and end here, we know that he's also going to start and end here. So I can bring him right over here. We'll bring up Courseplay and we'll tell it to start course recording. I'm actually going to zoom out a little bit. There we go. And we're going to transport this grass to this silage bunker over here. And it's a drive-through bunker, so I'm actually going to come down here past it and get on the other side of these trees, and then we'll drive down through it. Alright. We actually don't even need to do anything here. We just drive right through it. It automatically senses the tip point. And Courseplay does a really beautiful job, we'll see that here in a little bit, of unloading the grass evenly throughout the silo as it goes through it. So then we're just going to come right back to here. And we're gonna stop this, and we'll save this as Southwest grass field offload silo. Okay, so now we can clear this course out, and what we're going to do is we're going to come in here, we're going to copy the course from the rake that's right next to us at 17 meters. So we copy that course, then we come in here and we merge in our offload course, and now this guy's set up and ready to go. So we're just going to move him out of the way. And I'm going to hop over here in the mower. Okay. I want to let the mower at least get to the end of this row and start working its way back down, and then we'll start the rake and the loading wagon. The other thing to note is that the mower's moving at 13 miles an hour, so we'll set the cruise control for the rake and the loading wagon to, you know, like 11 or 12 miles an hour. That way we don't have to worry about them gaining ground on the mower as the mower's working through the field. Alright, now I'll hop back out. We'll come over here and get in the rake, and we'll start raking up the grass. Now, if you notice, another difference here, if you're not familiar with how this works in Farming Simulator, this is more of just a normal game strategy, not so much a Courseplay thing, but I'm not going to TED this grass. With a loading wagon, there's really no difference between picking up windrowed grass and picking up dried, tedded grass. It's treated the same, especially when you're going to just put it in a silage bunker. So tedding would just be an extra step at this point that we don't need to do. So again, we want to make sure our field speed, we're going to set it down to like 11 miles an hour so that we don't catch up with our mower. Turn speed's 8, that's probably a little too high, we'll do 6. And then we're going to do first waypoint, drive course. And then we can hop out. And then we'll get in our loading wagon. And again, we're going to turn it down to 11 miles an hour. And our turn speed will be 6. And then we can tell it to go to first waypoint. Really, we don't need to give the rake much of a head start. We should be able to just drive course, because if they're set for the same speed, then he's not going to catch up with the rake. And really, after he has to stop to do his first offload, then the rake will have a pretty far head start on it at that point. We can probably actually dial up his field speed then. Now, we may have given the mower too much of a head start. I'm actually going to hop out. We'll jump in the rake here if I can catch it, and we'll turn up its field speed since the mower has a pretty healthy head start on us here. Oh, it looks like it doesn't matter. It's only going to go at 11 anyways. Alright, well, we've got our first load of grass. And I'll actually turn up his speed now. And really, with the loading wagon and the rake, if the loading wagon catches up to it, and it's going up and down these nice straight rows like this, it's a little bit trickier in the corners, but up and down these nice straight rows, Courseplay will detect this as traffic, and it'll just match the loading wagon's speed will just match to the rake speed. In fact, we may catch it right here. Yeah, so there he's sensing the traffic in front of him, and he slowed down to 11 miles an hour to match it. That way it doesn't run into the rake. So it's actually really smart about stuff like that. Alright, now that the traffic's out of the way, you see his speed will pick back up. So as you can see at the bottom, there's a message there that the tip trigger was reached. Alright, so at this point, I think I'm just gonna let these guys run, and we'll follow along, and I'll fast forward the video. So one of the things you can do with Courseplay too, if you notice you got a little too close to the rocks here and got stuck, you'll see these notifications pop up here. It says, you know, the T8320 number 3 is slipping. If you just click on this, it automatically jumps you into the tractor. So what I'm going to do is just stop the driver, turn off our mowers, we'll lift them up, get them out of the way here. I'm just going to come back over here, and then we'll say alright, so we're in the middle of this transfer coming from one corner to the other, so we're just going to come up here. There we go, and we'll say nearest waypoint, drive course. And he should pick up and start doing his work again. We'll stick with him until he gets to the end of his course, and I'll pull him off the field so that he's not in the way of the rake. Alright, so he's finished work. So we'll say stop driver, clear course, close this, and we'll drive him off the field. Alright, looks like our loading wagon just dropped off its third load at the bunker. Okay, so now we'll just follow the rake while it finishes up its last two rows. Alright, so now we'll just follow the loading wagon as it finishes up the rest of the field. Alright, so our loading wagon has finished collecting off the field. So we'll go ahead and clear him out. And we'll take, he's 50% full, so we're going to take him over here and we'll unload him. Now if you wanted to, you could come back once they're done and kind of rake up the ends of the field and collect that as well. So if you look, we're 28% full and about 27% compacted. Alright, so the only thing we've got left to do now is to compact and blanket our silo. So I'm actually gonna start course recording. And there we go. If you see, by making a course like that, we can actually have the tractor now just automatically drive over this and compact it. So, and the beauty of this is he'll do that unattended, right? So I'm gonna come over here, I'll put the rake away, and then we'll come back and check on him and see if that's compacted yet. Come through this way and give him a hand. Alright, so we're up to 46%. So if we really want to speed this up, I can come over here and I can copy my course. Oh, we have to be in transfer mode first. That would help. There we go. Alright, 100% compacted. So we can stop this guy. And all we have left to do is blanket the silo. So press our right button. And boom, there we go. Alright, so that concludes the 17th video in my Courseplay series. In the next video in this series, I'll cover using Courseplay to cut chaff and to make silage at the BGA. If you're interested in trying out Courseplay, I'll put a link in the description below to the mod website. Hopefully you found this video useful. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave them below. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, be sure to click the like button and subscribe for more farming simulator videos. I'm Kentucky Farmer, thanks for watching. Be sure to edit out this part of the video. This part's boring.